In baseball, the terminology for this stream is going to be, oh, this is going to be a humdinger. There is so much to unpack. There is so much there's so much blame to go around that I felt it necessary to not even give the Giants my hair today. I'm just going right with fuck your sensitivity, because we're going to talk about stuff. We're going to bring stuff up. We're going to have a group discussion about this monumental failure of the New York Football Giants. Everyone knows I've been a fan for 49 years. I was at the original Miracle of the Meadowlands where Pisarcik handed the ball off to Zonka, and there was the miscue. Herm Edwards runs it in for a touchdown. I watched the Deshaun Jackson punt return, which to me wasn't as devastating as the original Miracle of the Meadowlands because of the fact that Matt Dodge put it in the middle of the fucking field. Tom Coughlin told him, don't put it in the middle of the field. Don't put it in the middle of the field. He puts it in the middle of the field. This debacle, 33 points in the fourth quarter. I literally cannot fathom. I still can't fathom that. From a former player, someone that worked in both the NFL and the Arena Football League, I have never seen a fourth quarter like that. I've never seen a defensive collapse so prevalent throughout the entire system. It's not just Shane Bowen. It's the player's fault just as much as the big catch that set up the field goal. So many people are like, well, why did you drop 8 and rush 3? Because your rush had only gotten there with Brian Burns. Abdul Carter was a non-factor. Kayvon Thibodeau, a non-factor. Dexter Lawrence, a non-factor. Conventional football wisdom is you drop 8, you keep the play in front of you, you protect the invisible line, which is that field goal line. You don't let anyone get behind you. That's conventional football wisdom, and it usually works, especially on a team with like 20 seconds left and no timeouts, when they have to go a buttload of yards down the field. On that play, on that last play that everyone's talking about, did anyone notice anything? Because I noticed it. I noticed it right when it happened. I was screaming at the television. I noticed right when it fucking happened. Did anyone notice anything? There were 2 Broncos in that play. On that play, in that area. There were 5 Giants. And of course, who gave up the catch? The venerable Drew Phillips. Drew Phillips, though, 2 weeks, and I won't get the advanced stats till Wednesday. Drew Phillips, going into the 2 weeks prior to this game, opposing quarterbacks are completing 100% of their passes against him. I'm going to say that again slowly. They are completing 100% of their passes against Drew Phillips the last 2 games, the prior 2 games. Deonte Banks, I don't know where he has gone. I don't see I honestly have no clue when Deonte Banks is gone. I have no clue. I have no idea. I have no perspective. I've never seen, outside of Holland last year, such a serendipitous drop in play in regards to the likes of Deonte Banks. Was he the main culprit and reason why the Giants lost? Oh, fuck no. Not even fucking close. You got to feel bad for Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart, had a good game against a very good Denver defense. But you cannot hold him not at fault on certain things. There were at least 2 interceptions. The Theo Johnson touchdown should have been an interception. The play at the end zone that was called a pass interference penalty, that again was one of the worst calls that I have seen again in this league in reference to pass interference. Nowhere near that there's nowhere. The roughing the passer against the Broncos was, I don't even know where the fuck that came from. We might as well just start wearing dresses and puka shells with hearts on them. I'm just joking, guys. Because evidently you're not allowed to even breathe on the quarterback. It was the interception. But again, we don't want to talk about this. You know what's funny? We will talk about the fact that Russell Wilson threw for over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, brought the Giants back twice. I'm doing some file work, guys. Brought the Giants back twice in the fourth quarter against the Dallas Cowboys. and the defense gave up the lead both times. But it was the interception in the end zone that was all. That was a game for Russell Wilson, because we hate Russell Wilson and we love Jaxson Dart because we think Jaxson Dart's the future. If we're just going to be honest about it, and we don't like to be honest about things. Jaxson Dart, though, like I said, he had a very good game. He had an excellent game. Yes, 100%. But he's also part of the reason why we lost the game. Douglas, I'm going to get to your comment. Because you're right. But I quit. This team has officially, this ownership, this regime has officially broken a 49-year-old, not even I'm older than 49, but has broken a Giant fan who's watched this team for 49 years. I'm officially done. I officially quit. And I've said this before, this is the last season of this show because of the fact that I cannot live through the putrid. Listen, I lived through the 70s. I lived through the Andy Robustelli eras. Talked about it. I lived through Alex Webster and Bill Armsbarger and McVay. I lived through teams that were 3-11, 5-9, 6-10, 6-10, 4-12, and then we had 9-7, 4-5, 3-13. 3, 12, and 1. I lived through that. I lived through the putridness of all of this. And this is the worst loss that I have truly ever seen in 1,000 years. Well, not 1,000 years, in 49 years. This is the worst loss. Because it wasn't just a systematic failure of Shane Bowen like everyone wants. I hate Shane Bowen. I don't hate anyone. I do hate people. But I'm not a fan of Shane Bowen. Everyone knows that. But the cry to fire Shane Bowen is then lacking in the fact that we need to put some of the onus and blame on the players. It was the systematic failure of the secondary again to not be in the proper position, to not be where they need to be, to taking bad angles, to not understanding their coverage. That's what we need.
If you're here in Pennsylvania and are looking for,
that's what we need to take a look at as well. You know what? You cut that. You know, they always say you cut the head off the snake, you kill the snake. I don't think Shane Bowen's the head of the snake. Listen, Shane Bowen, everyone or anyone that is known of Shane Bowen, we on this channel have talked about this ad fucking nauseum. Shane Bowen, if you go back and look at his body of work, has never had good secondaries outside of his safety play. He's never had good secondaries. No, at all. The only time that he had good secondaries was when Jim Schwartz came in and was his mentor. And we talked about it too. Mike Vrabel said it. Schwartz came out in an interview with the Daily Tennessean and talked all about it, how his job was to mentor Shane Bowen and be a second set of eyes, and his secondary improved those 2 seasons, but then serendipitously dropped off again when Schwartz left. So you have a defensive coordinator who has a body of work of putrid secondary play, who thinks he can generate a rush by rushing 4, which he did. And I told everyone this. I told everyone this the day we fucking signed him. I warned everyone. I literally warned everyone that he is a guy that if you look at his body of work, he likes to rush. And everyone's like, well, he's this blitzer. I said, no. He only blitzes like 20% of the time. And he likes to generate a rush with 4, and he drops everyone back into coverage. And everyone's like, no. You don't know what you're talking about. No. At this point in time, guys, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I'm getting a feedback. I don't know where I'm getting feedback from, but I'm getting feedback from a second mic here. And I don't know why. Hold on, we're trying to find where this feedback is coming from. We're closing out everything there. Let's see if we close out everything, we stop getting feedback. Or I could just hit the mute button on that one channel, but that would be too fucking easy. But you look at this, like I said, this is a total team collapse. This just wasn't Shane Bowen. This was literally and not figuratively a total team collapse. And it, like I said, it's a systematic failure starting from the top down. That's all it is. Because you got to remember the Giants' vaunted defense in that pass rush still gave up 142 yards and 24 carries. And I tried to explain to everyone on Sunday that Bo Nix is not a scrambling quarterback. He is a running quarterback. There is a difference. And I kept telling people I am extremely worried about what Bo Nix is going to do late in the game. And I love it because we also talk about the fact how the vaunted pass rush for the Denver Broncos was just terrible. Well, they still had 4 sacks. And they didn't have any sacks in this first half, but they had 4 sacks in the second half. While the Giants, outside of Brian Burns, had just 2 sacks. Can we put out an alert, though, on Abdul Carter? We are now 7 games into Abdul Carter's career. And I have never seen a guy. He's got 8 solo tackles and half a sack in 7 games. He plays 75 to 80% of the defensive snaps. Last week, he did what I perceived as one of the most impossible things to do. After playing 70% of the defensive snaps, he was an 0-4. 0 for tackles, 0 for solo, 0 for assists, 0 for sacks, 0 for tackles for loss. No quarterback pressures, no quarterback hits. He was an 0-4 stat line. This week wasn't much better. Can we just fundamentally admit that he is an undersized defensive end who should maybe play as a situational pass rusher because he wears down at the end of the game, and allow him to blitz on obvious pass rushing downs, and we create packages for him? And I also want to talk, and everyone, like I said, Joe Schoen does not escape this blame, because here we go. Tim, how can you have a kicker who's not an NFL kicker? The guy has never kicked a 40-yard field goal in his life, even going back to Rutgers. Do you want me to explain why we have this guy? Does anyone want me to explain why this guy's on the team? Because evidently people don't want to talk about this either, because it's twice as Joe Schoen's fault as well. We're going out and getting that big time wide receiver. Okay. You have less than $3.5 million in cap space. You need cap space to move around players off the practice squad. So anytime you take a player off the practice squad and move another player out, you are moving cap space. So to go out and get a quality NFL kicker, it's going to cost you money. And it's going to cost you money that we don't have. So for all the morons that were telling us what we need to do is we need to go out and get that big time wide receiver. Okay, you have under $4 million. You need money to make, you've already renegotiated 2 contracts. You need money to make in-season moves, such as, I don't know, signing an actual NFL kicker. Special teams is always that underlooked vice. And special teams is always underlooked by a team until it collapses. And this is what's doing with the Giants. There's collapsing. So if you don't have enough cap space or the wherewithal to go out and get a quality NFL kicker, what the fuck makes you think you have enough money to trade for Waddle? You don't. This is a fundamental failure from the top fucking up. Joe Schoen, in his infinite stupidity, has no clue how to manage a salary cap. There needs to be a book, NFL salary cap for dummies, and we need to send 5 copies to Joe Schoen. And I still don't think it would be enough. So why everyone wants to blame Shane Bowen, you need to look at the top. Why the fuck is Brian Daboll keeping the timeout in his back pocket? Why the fuck is Mike Kafka not running the ball, grinding it out at that end, instead of putting the ball in the hands of, getting cute and putting the ball in the hands of your rookie quarterback? Why did he do that? You have the Cam Scottaboo. Run the Caribou. Instead, you put the ball in the hands of your rookie quarterback in his 4th start. And he comes up with a rookie fucking play. And like I said, for all these people, I must have been watching a different fucking game. I saw a guy that was good under pressure in Jaxson Dart, but I also saw a guy that was 15 for 33. And there should have been 2 additional interceptions. And the Theo Johnson 41-yard touchdown pass was a bounce off a Bronco that still took 4 sacks. I give him all the credit in the world, Jaxson Dart. I give him all the credit in the world. He played a good game against a really good defense. But we're still running the fucking Ole Miss offense. Team, I'm not going to keep telling you guys there's going to be a come to Jesus moment. The NFL is going to figure this is going to be a Tommy DeVito thing. And I'm not saying Jaxson Dart's going to be Tommy DeVito. I'm saying there's going to be a serendipitous drop. It's the same thing with Cam Scatterby, 16 carries for 60 yards, only 3.8. The longest run was 18. He hasn't had a run over 23 yards yet in his NFL career. Tyrone Tracy, minimum carries, had 31 yards on 1 carry already. Just remember, Theo Johnson, I love it. And I was like, well, Theo Johnson's the tight end of the future. He had 3 catches for 66 yards. 41 of them came off of 1 play, and it was a bad play by the Broncos defense. Am I the only one that sees these things? Am I the only one that watched Jaxson Dart miss? And I'm not saying he was going to fucking catch it, but he missed a wide open Jalen Hyatt. Am I the only one that's seeing the fact that we are only throwing the ball 3-4 yards at times off the line of scrimmage? Am I the only one watching this? I fucking must be. Give out to the big funky town, drop it out. Of course, we know what funky town is. Why don't you take me to funky town? Drop it off the 5 New York Giants Straight Talk Online Big Blue membership. Thank you, Mr. Funky Town. Thank you, Big Don. We always appreciate you. So while it's easy just to systematically blame everyone, I should just systematically blame Shane Bowen for this loss. You can't. And like I said, I would love to blame Shane Bowen. I would love it. If you allow me to do that, I will love to do that. I would love it. But the problem is this. It's not just Shane Bowen. It starts from the head coach, and I think Brian Daboll has systematically now proved that he is a terrible fucking head coach. John McVay, Bill Armsberger, they're better head coaches than he was. Ray Hanley, Joe Judge are better head coaches than he was. Hell, Steve Spagnuolo, who was an interim head coach, was a better head coach. You keep saying over and over again that this is Shane Bowen's fault. That tells me you are leaving all the other players unaccountable on the defense. Like I said, watch that last play, that big pass play. There were 5 Giants, 5, and 2 Broncos. And somehow they made the play and they ran up and were able to spike the ball. I posted on Carl Banks's page the other day, and I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. And actually, Carl Banks reposted it. And I said, players also need to be held accountable for lack of execution. Outside of Burns, what was our best? I said, players need to be held accountable for lack of execution. Outside of Burns, what have our best 3 pass rushers produced in the last 3 weeks? Conventional football wisdom going in versus a team with no timeouts, drop 8, flood the coverage, keep the play in front of you, prevent the catch, protect the invisible field goal line, and don't let anyone get behind you. It's easier to blame one coach than believing it was a total team failure. That's what it is. It was a total team failure. Oh, thank you, Carl Banks. Carl Banks wrote, Bob Papa and I discussed in detail this exact point on our Believe podcast, dropping shortly. Be sure to stay to tune in. No, don't stay at a 2-win, Carl. People are supposed to watch the live stream. What the fuck, Carl? We're on the same network. I wanted to open the phone lines up. I wanted to open the lines up, but I don't know if I'm ready. I truly don't know if I'm fucking ready to talk to people. I'm so upset. I don't know what to do. This was a case study in a team that, and I keep telling guys this, and a lot of you guys in the chat understand this. This is a cut and paste roster. This is a roster of talent that is kind of doesn't fit together, but there's talent. And I keep telling people there's talent, but it doesn't fit together. It doesn't make sense. You have 3 undersized defensive ends. You have no linebackers. You have corners that are press cover corners who you want to play zone, and then when you do allow them to play man to man, they don't play well. You have a hero in Drew Phillips who makes all these tackles, but he had 9 tackles yesterday. How many pass defenses did he have? He had 0. And I said the same thing with Aaron Robinson years ago. Aaron Robinson was great at stopping people after the catch was made. But as Terrell Revis, the whole fucking idea is to stop people from making the catch. As a former defensive back, I can tell you your job, because I was told this ad nauseum since Pop Warner, your job is to not allow the skill players on offense to make catches. I always, especially early on in my career, I loved the big hit. Oh, I was enamored by the big hit. The Sports Center hit. And a coach, defensive back coach, pulled me aside one day and said, and I'll never forget this. And there's certain things I will never forget. And he pulled me aside and said, the big hit is great. If we charted your big hits, last week you would have like 3. But you also gave up 60 yards on those big hits. If you prevented them from catching the ball, we would not be putting these situations, and a big hit would not be necessary, and they would not have gained any yards. So while Drew Phillips looks great with tackles, majority of his tackles, especially when they're solo, come back off completions. Same with Paulson Adebo. He had 4 solo tackles, 4 tackles in total, because they came off completions. Cordell Flott, same thing. These are the things that we need to look at. We have a pass rush that is undersized, and when you go up against a quality offensive line, Denver, I don't think, a lot of people think Denver has one of the best lines in football. I don't think so. I think Denver has a very good offensive line, and outside of Brian Burns, what about Brian Burns? We've talked about it before. He's the only one having a good season. Because the people that are telling me that Kayvon Thibodeau is having this wonderful season and his best season as a Giant so far, I don't fucking see it. He had 1 tackle yesterday. Kayvon Thibodeau has 11 tackles and 2.5 sacks in 7 games. That's barely a tackle and a quarter a game. But I have to hear how wonderful he's playing. I have to hear that. We said it was a trap game, and we tried not to say it was a trap game yesterday. We tried to avoid that terminology. We tried to avoid that it was a trap game, only because of the fact that it sounded stupid to say that a game versus a Denver Bronco team who does have a playoff defense. Like I said, I give Jaxson Dart all the credit in the world. I give Jaxson Dart all the heart in the world for playing the way he played. I give him that. I give him that. I don't take that away from him, but you cannot sit there and fundamentally say there wasn't issues with his game. But you had a performance by your rookie quarterback who played well under pressure. The majority of Jaxson Dart's, I think 146 yards of Jaxson Dart's 190 plus, came under duress, which is what you want to see. But you wasted an effort by your rookie quarterback, and then when push came to shove, you put your rookie quarterback in a position to make the big mistake when you needed a win going into Philadelphia. Because I'm guaranteeing you right now, the team you saw in New York and Philadelphia is not going to be the same team you're going to see next week or this week. Somehow they figured out in Philadelphia, even though Saquon Barkley wasn't getting the yards, set up the run, use the run to set up the pass. I'm beginning to think that I'm going to be a fucking NFL kicker because I can suck and miss just as much as the next one.
That's what she said.
Strider said, I wish that the giant content creators can stop trading for a wide receiver. You don't have money to sign a fucking kicker and make moves on your roster. God forbid you have another injury, but we're going to go sign a fucking wide receiver because it's great for the likes, the clicks, the bleeps, and the boops. Let me go to some of these here. Let's start with Sky. Let's go Jay first. We're still happy, I guess. We got Dart. It's something to watch. That's exciting. Jaxson Dart. You know what's funny? I got a lot of text messages from people about Jaxson Dart, and I got text messages from people that either worked in the NFL or are still in the NFL. And it was funny because James Williams sent me a text message too that really broke it down because it said the same thing. 3 text messages on Jaxson Dart from people two that worked in the NFL, one that's still in the NFL, and I should say 4, and James Williams. I like a lot of things I like a lot of things Jaxson Dart is doing, but I see too much backyard football and not enough actual execution. Those are from those were comments from 2 former people that worked in the NFL, one who's still in the NFL, and James Williams. And we all know James Williams to me should be in the NFL. Let's see. The Skyline said, if we make the field goals, we win. If we stop everyone from the second conversions, we win. Dart doesn't get picked, we win. So many things that happened for us to lose, and we nailed all of them. This is what I said. It is a total team fundamental collapse. This isn't something that just occurred. This isn't just Shane Bowen. And like I said, we always like to blame the boogeyman. We always like to blame Jason coming in there chopping up people. We don't effectively look at what caused Jason to be Jason. And it was probably his mother. I don't remember. I don't fucking remember. But you need to be held accountable. The whole and all the players I posted a picture of Brian Burns getting all upset and running back in the locker room and bitching and moaning and complaining about all these things. It's like, dude, you are the you are not the problem, but here's the issue with you, my friend. You didn't come up with a sack. You didn't come up with a play to stop certain plays. You didn't do any of these things. And you can't sit there and say it's all Shane Bowen's fault because Shane Bowen decided to put you in a situation that we shouldn't be in anyways. Because we shouldn't be in this ways because our secondary is so putrid. Let's see. Dart's mistakes. I accept them as a rookie and can live with it. The coaching staff should be a shit. And at this point in their careers, how do you we talked about this. How do you keep the timeout in your back fucking pocket? How do you do that? How do you not just run the ball, make them burn their last fucking timeout and not put your rookie quarterback in a situation or a place to make the big mistake? Because yes, if you look at it systematically, that interception in our own territory was the fundamental momentum shift that Denver needed. Instead of just grinding it the fuck out, you do that. Like I said, I don't blame Jaxson Dart for loss. I think Jaxson Dart had a good game, but to the point, I'm seeing a lot of schoolyard stuff. And that's going to play it's like the Wildcat we talked about it before. It's like the Wildcat with the Miami Dolphins years ago. It's going to play for a while. Then you're going to actually have to start playing football. I want nothing more than winning the remaining divisional games. I don't know. Listen, I don't know if that's going to happen because fucking Cowboys, and I keep telling people, no one wants to listen to me about the Cowboys. While the Cowboys defense is beyond horrid, they probably have the second or the third best offense in the entire league, even with their fucked up running game. Dak Prescott.
Are you crazy? Ow!
Yeah, I'm crazy. What made you think I was sane?
I'm not crazy, but outside of their, like I said, their putrid running game, they have this. They have something about them. I don't know what it is, but they have something about them in this offense, and I'm hoping that we run into it and they just run into a wall and we stop this. But I can't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about divisionally what we're going to do. And well, unless Jaden Daniels is out for an extended period of time. Let's see. This year is only about dark progress. The record doesn't matter at this point. Oh, now it doesn't. It doesn't matter at this point. No, of course not. But here's the problem, Alberto. ¿Dónde está el baño, por favor? Here's the problem, Alberto. You win in Dallas. You don't throw up a stinker against the Saints. You win yesterday. You got 3 additional wins. All winnable games. We've said this before about the Eagles. Until yesterday's game, the Eagles could have easily been 0-6 if you take a look at their games. Games are won and lost, and seasons are won and lost at times on games that you let slip away. And that's what the Giants have been good at doing for 14 years. Frank says, Tim, this pass rush is overrated. Defense sucks, period. Changing out Shane Bowen at this point in time, 7 games in the season, is not going to change the defensive pass rush. Because the defensive pass rush, there is a period of time, there is a very long, extended period of time when Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, and Dexter Lawrence are on the field at the same time. And you're still not getting results, and you're still getting gashed. I've said this before, and people don't like to talk about it. The guy in Seattle,
King of the almost sack.
Since he left, has been better the last 2 years than Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is a great player on a bad team. I still think he's a very good player in this league, but I've said this before. There are other nose tackles and defensive tackles I would take over Dexter Lawrence. I think at times with Dexter Lawrence, the hype is more than the production. And we're talking about going back years now. And I've already said I would trade Dexter Lawrence now. I would trade him at his prime, get something for him, and move on. That's what I would do. And it's nothing against him. It's just, if you take a look at Dexter Lawrence right now, 28 years old, it's 7 games. In 7 games, this guy's got 17 tackles, only 7 solo. 1 tackle for a loss and 3 quarterback hits. He started all 7 games so far. Even in his best season, or best seasons, in 23 and 22, 7.5 sacks, 68 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 53 tackles. And he only has, and that 1 year was 68 tackles. He had 35 solo and 33 assists. We know what that means. He was not leading the point of attack. Daboll is a charlatan. I believe it. No, I don't think he's a saboteur. I just think he is what he is. Become a Colts fan. It's way more fun. I'm also a Green Bay Packer fan. I'm also a Green Bay Packer owner. We've talked about this. I am part owner of the Green Bay Packers. I have some Green Bay Packer stock. So I've been this house. We were always we became Packer fans when my dad's always been a Packer fan. My dad's been was always a huge Packer fan, a huge Giant fan. And then it was sucked when they played against each other. But we always support the Packers in the South. Don't know why. Russell Wilson should have been in that game after Jaxson Dart got hurt. We're not even going to get into the stupidity of our fucking coaching stuff. Trent said this team smelled its own farts all week leading up to the game. Oh yeah, we were disrespected. And I kept telling you people, if you need this bulletin board shit to get yourself hyped for a game you need to win, and then you give up 33 fucking points in the fourth, you gave up 33 points in 15 minutes. I was watching the game and I was thinking to myself, are quarters longer now? Are quarters now like 45 minutes? Because how the hell do you score 33 points in 15 minutes? Kafka is a 1-play call off every fucking snare. And he's more than 1-play call off after every scenario. Worst loss. It is the worst loss in franchise history. I've said it before. I was at the Miracle of the Meadowlands. I was a kid at the Miracle of the Meadowlands. And to watch Herm Edwards run that ball into the end zone and thinking, even as a youngster then, I was like, why didn't they just fucking take a knee? And you do something stupid like that. This is worse than that. That was a shock. That the Miracle of the Meadowlands was a single play shock. This was a implosion for 15 minutes. And it wasn't just a singular failure, a singular point of failure like the Miracle of the Meadowlands. This was an entire team from the coaching staff to the general manager to the players down. You can fault Shane Bowen all you want. But on that last play, watch it again. There are anytime there are two wide receivers in the same area, one of those wide receivers ran the wrong route. But you had two wide receivers in that area and you had 5 giant defensive backs. How do you still give up the catch? Oh, like I said, I agree 100%. I think he's overrated too. Why says Bowen looks like a fentanyl head zombie living out the discussion streets of Austin, Texas. Well, yeah, we would say Kensington here in Pennsylvania. Secondary's ass. You're not wrong. Evan says this team just takes it all. That is a great way to put it. This team is, you ever seen the movie Life Force? The old movie from the 80s? With the space vampires that suck the life force out of you and they drain you and they make you skeletons. That's what this team is. Shane Bowen's more like Bozo. Hey, don't insult Bozo. RWB says this whole secondary needs to go. They're as bad in their own way. I agree 1,000%. Strider says, Evan, even Tim just called about it, about Drew Phillips, fucked up and allowed the play to happen. Evan, oh yeah. Okay, I was like, Evan. I was like, who's Evan? Michael says, Tim, how can we get a kicker? Why not get an NFL kicker? Because we don't have the money. But that's all right. Let's see here. FanDuel still has Jaxson Dart at -0.5 as offensive rookie of the year favorite. Yeah, I can still see that. You got to play. Have you seen Tyler Warren play? Have you seen Tyler Warren play? Tyler Warren is they are taking this 6'5". I mean, they are literally taking this guy and they are putting him all over the field. Tyler Warren, he's a fullback, he's a slot receiver, he's a tight end. He's already got 33 catches for 439 yards and I think 4 touchdowns. I don't remember my touchdown. He got another touchdown yesterday. He's had 3 touchdowns in a row. They run him as a running back at 6'5", 256 pounds. They put him in the slot. They put him as a wide receiver. They put him as a tight end, and he can fucking block. What can't Tyler Warren do? Oh, speaking of the mighty FanDuel, no FanDuel, the number 1 sports book in all the land. FanDuel, of course, had the Giants as 7-point underdogs. New customers bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's on the NFL, of course. I said it before. I would take the 7. I said it on the stream Sunday. If I were you, I placed the bet. I took the 7. I took the 7. What does FanDuel have the Giants and Eagles at? I gotta say they're at least 7-point underdogs. I'm gonna say at least 7-point underdogs. My internet's not working right now. But we'll have to go back and look in a minute because for some reason I can't get this to pop up. By pop-up lockers on it or something. But of course, go to FanDuel, bet $500, get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's on NFL games. FanDuel also has those wonderful casino games. New players, 500 bonus spins, get up to $1,000 back in casino bonuses. Also, you can enjoy racing, FanDuel TV, all the fantasy football stuff you love and enjoy. And you know what? You have to have some fantasy stuff when you're a fucking Giant fan because that's the only thing that's going to get you through the day. I would love to see exactly what FanDuel has this team at. I'm kind of curious what FanDuel has this team at. But like I said, I have to get my internet to work. my internet's spotty. And I'm trying to download stuff, so computer's not working well. What do we got here? We got to jump over to the super chat, of course, because all super chats go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. Support the kids. Key Smart says, thank you for watching. Thank you. Love watching the show. Finally, someone with common sense. Dex has been a non-factor. What's your opinion on blowing it up and with trade so we can have capital off the season? I also wanted Tyler Warren. Oh, Mr. Smart, I don't know. And thank you for the super chats. All super chats go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. I don't know if you followed the show just recently, but before the draft, I wanted to trade out of 3, drop down to the middle of the round, pick up Tyler Warren. You could still pick up Jaxson Dart or a rookie quarterback or whatever quarterback you wanted. Use this kid as a tight end that we have not seen in years. Have him open up, do exactly what he's doing right now. I talked about all this. Do exactly what he is doing right now in Indianapolis. Use him all over the field. Help him open the middle of the field for Jonathan Taylor. Give him a safety valve for Daniel Jones. Pull the defensive coverage off the wide receiver so you get one-on-one coverage, and just use him as a complete weapon. I did episodes on Tyler Warren, episodes, because I said this before and I'm going to say it again. And I'm not saying it's going to be true yet. And I got blasted for it. To me, Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter, if you looked at the entire draft, had the biggest opportunity to be busts. Because both of them were undersized player. One is an undersized player that does not have a solid position. The other one is an undersized player who, after having 2 years as an off-the-ball linebacker at Penn State, his second season starting, he had a 25.9% missed tackle percentage and was shifted over the defensive end at a necessity because Penn State lost a guy in the first round and the third round in that draft. And yes, he produced, and everyone wants to talk about his 24 tackles for losses. No. Scoring is different in college. A sack counts as a tackle for a loss in college. We spoke to the people that score at Penn State. It just made sense. Well, the Giants, we don't do anything that makes sense. And like I said it and I got blasted for it. I said Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter out of this entire draft are players that have bust written all over them. I've said this before, and I'm not even sure I can say it again. I've said this before. Abdul Carter to me is Bryce Huff. He is a guy that should be a situational pass rusher. He's an undersized defensive end that people are going to attack. Speed is great unless you're running up against an unmovable object. And then what you need to do is you need to go around that object. Like Kayvon Thibodeau's issues, you just push the speed rusher to the outside. And if he tries to cut it in too quickly, you put him in the fucking dirt. That's what you do. That's what you do. Moral victories? Moral victories? No.
Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Put your ass in timeout. Put your ass in timeout.
Nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I don't want. Evidently, you never competed in anything in your life because there is no moral victories. That, you know what moral victories are? What losers say. This was not Daboll. This was not just Kafka. This was not just Shane Bowen. This was a fundamental failure off from the top down, from the players down. The coaches cannot play for the players. You set up a play at the end of the game where you had two wide receivers in the same area, which is usually a mistake, and 5 giant defenders. And Drew Phillips gave up the catch. But it's the entire coaching staff's fault. Listen, like I said, I don't hate Shane Bowen. Thank you. Participation trophies. Giants are number 1 in participation trophies for the last 14 years. You're right. Tell me why we got so many stupid fans. Tell me why they don't know shit about football. Why don't you watch Chode Sports? Let's see here. Mara says, won't fire anyone since he is busy dealing with health matters. So my guess is he will be back next year with more suffering. They don't need Mara to fire Shane Bowen. If your general manager truly has control, you don't need Mara to fire Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll's only got 1 year left on his contract, so yes, you're going to eat some money, but it's not like you're firing him in year 2 of the deal. You know what my thing is this? If you're Joe Schoen and you see this fundamental flaw and this inability to be prepared for 60 minutes of football, you show us, grow a sack and show some backbone and fire the fucking guy. but you're not going to. Because what's your alternative at 7 games in? What's your fucking alternative? I said this before. If you are if you are only 1 to 2 wins after the second Philadelphia game, you need to fire Brian Daboll. Because you cannot have a 9-7-1 where you were 7-2, then 2-5-1 in the second half. Then you were 6-11. Then you were 3-14, and then you're a 3 to 4 win team again. You cannot have that and can maintain and retain your head coach. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Eagles are 5-2, brother. We know how to close out. You got fucking lucky. But you know I love you, brother, man. The Dark Fiend says, in reference to backyard football with the middle of the line open, backups on backup wide receivers, Kafka's, I don't know if we can really say Dart is only capable of playing that way. We're not saying that he's only playing that way. You missed the point. What they were saying, and these are people that worked in the league, and one is still in the league, that you can play backyard football for an extended period of time. But there were 2 plays that, like the Theo Johnson play, should have been intercepted. There was another play that should have been intercepted. There was the bullshit roughing the passer penalty, which was not a penalty against the Broncos. There was the bad pass interference penalty in the end zone. It's almost like, listen, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but it's almost like the league wants the Giants to be good. It's literally almost like that. I mean, it's almost like all of a sudden, someone breathes on a quarterback, flag. And like I said, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but you never know. You never know. Let's the odds say we already got that. He doesn't suck. Dexter Lawrence sucks. He has any difference in any games. Dexter Lawrence hasn't been really good in years since Dalvin Tomlinson or since King of the Almost Sack. But he doesn't suck. He's just extremely overrated. And at 28 years old, going on 29, I think it's time to move on from Dexter Lawrence. Todd says the roster has way too much ego for what they accomplished. They strut like they're Super Bowl winners. It's funny you said it because we've said it before. One of my favorite rhymes from Chris, and that's Cool Kid Talk 6'7". One of my favorite rhymes from Kid Rock is, you say I'm cocky. I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. You didn't back it up. All the swagger. Hey, let's take our shirts off. Yeah, let's make fun of the Eagles, who did that and actually won a Super Bowl. They were allowed to do that. You were a 2-win team. At that point in time, you were a 1-win team. Now it's a 2-win team. So you got a little cocky on Thursday night football, and then you ran into a fucking buzzsaw. Mr. Finesse, big salute. What's going on here? Tell me why. Off Broadway says we could get zombies from Kensington, line them up as a defensive line, and stop the run better. You're right. You're not right. You're not wrong. Trade came on Tim and Lex wants to trade down. Listen, if you want to move, if you want to get, I did this. I just gave props to Carl Banks. Now I'm gonna laugh at him for a few minutes. I posted in one of the streams with Carl and Bob Papa that they should trade Kayvon Thibodeau for a wide receiver. And I was told, how can you break up this pass rush by doing that, by trading for a wide receiver? Because I was like, because you could probably go get Dobbs. My thought was, this was before the Parsons trade. My thought was you trade Kayvon Thibodeau to Green Bay, who needed a pass rusher. You get Quay Walker and you get Romeo Dobbs, and you throw in like a 4th-round pick, because you're probably going to throw in a 4th-round pick. It fit cap-wise. I understand, and the reason why Green Bay probably would have made that trade is because both Quay Walker and Romeo Dobbs are on their last year of their deals, contract of their deals. They didn't pick up the 5th-year option on Quay, and Romeo Dobbs is a 2nd-round pick. So it made sense. And you were opening up more opportunities for Abdul Carter, and you also picked up other guys in the offseason to bring in, so it made sense. So now we're in a situation that Malik Neighbors, and this was before even Malik Neighbors got hurt. So now you're in a situation where Malik Neighbors is hurt. You're relying on little Jordan Humphreys. You got Bo Collins out there. You got Jalen Hyatt, and most teams. This is what I love about a certain segment of Giant fans. Most teams know. I'm going to give you a hint. It's not a shocker. The Giants need wide receivers. So it's not like teams around the league are like, wow, why are the Giants calling us for a wide receiver? So you don't think teams are going to try to fleece the Giants to give them a wide receiver? And again, there is a pretty good wide receiver class coming out next year. So why waste it? Jones made Tyler Warren. I would ban you, but I know that's
warning, sarcasm, warning, sarcasm, warning, sarcasm.
I found the right button. Hey-oh. So that was a guess too. Mr. Finesse says Brian Daboll has been the coach of all the worst Giant team, stats losing all over the place. You're right. What does the odds say? Jaxson Dart needs to work on his pocket passing and keep overthrowing his receivers at critical moments. The other problem is he has a tendency to underthrow wide receivers too. Tyler Warren can throw it too. He was a quarterback in high school and throwing plays in that offense. I haven't seen him throw it yet, but I can believe you. Remember when Tim said trade up for Tyler Warren, then he came out for the draft. I do. Thank you. Actually, I said trade down for Tyler Warren. I said trade out of 3, build up assets, get them back up, maybe into lower half of the second round. First round, grab a quarterback. You still get your tight end. You still have assets. But yes. That's exactly what I said. Todd says, if you think about it, we could have traded down first, taken Todd. Todd, I said that. Hit the like button for Todd. I said that, Todd. That's exactly what you could and should have, would have done. If we only had Joe Judge to call a back-to-back quarterback sneaks, FanDuel has Tim as online Big Blue of 1,500 to retire in 2026. Retirement's there. Retirement's here. I can't do this anymore. Plus, we got the Knicks coming out. We got the Knicks channel coming out. We got to get off my lawn. The Matt Realmies of Gen X are coming out. The award nominated. Get off my lawn. The Matt Realmies of Checks. Are we secretly tanking? I don't know if it's secretly. Let's see here. Mr. Brown says, was excited for Abdul Carter, but he has been a no-show. Yesterday's game was embarrassing. No, yesterday's game, at least he was on the stat sheet. The Saints game, I had never seen this before and I kept telling this, I have never seen this before on a guy who played 70% of the snaps. He was a complete and utter 0 for everything. Let's see here. A historic collapse isn't a moral victory. Sure it is. You have a historic collapse. That's a moral victory. Let's get out those participation trophies. The firings need to start. I agree. The firing should start now. Let's, you know what? Let's, I have a phone just for this channel now. And I got it turned on. I got it and everything going, but I've been too lazy to come down and work on it on the soundboard because I'm doing too many other things, but I'm going to put the link in the chat. Let's see if anyone out there wants to tell me exactly what's going on. Let me know. Come on in. If you're watching on that one place, come over to YouTube and jump online. Somebody go out to Twitter and go send Carl Banks the link. Send Bob Pop the link. Well, I would love to hear their perspective as well. Jumping on in. Because I just don't know anymore. Malcolm Brogdon retiring has got me upset. This massive failure has got me upset. I don't know. Off Broadway says I still don't like Shane Bowen as our DC. Send him to the UFL. Why not? Mr. Finesse says this is repeating the same mistakes. Oh, we have repeated the same mistakes over and over again for 14 years. We have had 2 playoff appearances in 14 years, 1 playoff win. When does this end? And when did this end? And like I said, the ups and downs of the season. And I've said this, that before the season started and people didn't understand what I was saying, but now maybe people will. This season was going to be a single season. This was going to be a single game season. That every game that you played was going to have this onus of importance that you have to, and I know they always say you only play one game at a time, but this game was, you could not look ahead to an opponent. You had to focus singularly on the team in front of you, because one loss with this season was going to crush you. And that's what happened. Honey Pot, you said you got a bone to pick me. What's your bone to pick? Don't you like Dart, man? I didn't say I don't like Dart.
Oh man,
I just don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Oh, I don't either though, Tim. I don't, man. I don't.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Oh, okay. I just want to say one thing about it.
Let me ask you a question first. Let me ask you.
I'm listening.
Okay. Was Dart's interception the monumental momentum shift in this game?
I'm gonna answer you with this with a little thing. I got two dogs, right? A Belgian Malinois and a fucking German Shepherd, right? That I train, right? I would never, if I let my son Malachi take my Belgian Malinois outside to walk, right? Something's gonna happen. I don't expect him to handle this dog with the proper care and knowledge. I would have put him in that position to fail.
Has Jaxson Dart not been playing football since Pop Warner?
Listen, it's 35. They got one timeout. I need my coach to run the ball.
Yes, but also if you don't throw that ball and you take the sack, does the clock not continue to run and they are forced to take a timeout?
It was a little funny throw though, Tim. It was like some people were under his legs. He wasn't playing it.
You don't make that throw. You tuck it. And take the
it was a bad interception.
Is the 41-yard touchdown pass to Theo Johnson? Was that?
Can I get one of those? We finally got something. I never get that.
But wasn't, if the defensive back played the ball properly, is that not an interception?
I feel like that hit off of Wandale's hands, though. Like you were saying, the defender.
It was off the defender. It was off the defender.
Was? Okay, yes. I'm going to believe you. I'm going to rock with you on that.
It was off the defender.
Okay. All right. We got lucky. I mean, we need a little bit of luck.
Jaxson Dart only completed under 50% of his passes.
This motherfucker, who's he throwing to? Wandale. Oh my God, this midget. Every time they show this guy, I'm like, God, this guy's a midget.
Who did Tom Brady throw to his first two Super Bowls? Jabbar Gaffney? David Patton?
Whoa, why are we fucking bringing up Tom, though? Why are we putting him in the same category?
You can't sit there and tell me this guy has no one to throw to when Tom Brady and even the likes of Patrick Mahomes won Super Bowls with no wide receivers and only Travis Kelce.
I mean, he had Wes Welker.
No, I'm talking about Tom Brady's first two Super Bowls.
Didn't he have Deion? Am I tripping on Deion Branch?
He didn't have Deion Branch till later.
Oh.
He had David Patney, Jabbar Gaffney, the venerable Jabbar Gaffney out of Florida.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So you can't, and like I said, I'm not blaming Jaxson Dart for the game whatsoever. I'm not saying I don't like Jaxson Dart, but if you take a look at it from a fundamental standpoint and look at the offense that they're running, they are basically running a mirror offense of Lane Kiffin out of Ole Miss. That's why the three people that I talked to who worked in the NFL, one still in the NFL, said there is way too much backyard football and it needs to be more fundamentally sound. And it's not Jaxson Dart's fault because that's what the coaching staff is allowing him to do so he can be successful as a rookie.
I love him. I love him, Tim. I'm sorry. I love him. I call him Anakin. He has me screaming, oh my God, he brings life into this living room when there's only the misery.
One thing about that, didn't Anakin kill a bunch of kids? And didn't he kill all the women and children sand people and he murdered all the Padawans? So I don't know if I would call it. And didn't he get cut in half at the end of that one movie?
It was beautiful cinema. It was beautiful cinema.
I'm not saying I don't like Jaxson Dart. I'm just saying we have to actually see what he is. Everyone loved Daniel Jones that first year.
Whoa, I don't feel like we should have, though.
Everyone was enamored with that, and I kept trying to tell people, what did I tell people? What is this brilliant Pat Shurmur doing? Cutting the field in half, giving him one read, and the second option is the run. And they did that because they played to the strengths of Daniel Jones.
Is he scanning the field? Can you answer me this? Does Jaxson Dart scan the field? Is he red striping?
He's not red striping, but no, he is going to a lot of his first reads. And a lot of his throws are not beyond 5 to 7 yards.
So I heard you say in this video, I think it was 2 days ago, where you said even if they don't win, if they at least play good, I'll at least feel good about it. Oh God, I got to put the loss on him too. It's the whole team. You don't fucking let 33 points come about, and it's not everybody's fault. It is his fault. I mean, that was a bad interception.
You were up 20, you were up 24-16 or whatever it was, and you in your own end of the field, and you gave the team that you had against the ropes a momentum shift and allowed them to keep that time out. You take the sack, the clock is still running. They are forced to take the time out.
I got to see if he's put in that position again. I say he doesn't throw that interception. I say he does what you're saying right now and takes the sack.
Because he's a rookie quarterback. It's a learning process. People think
you feel like, which I do 100%. Do you feel like he's miles ahead of Daniel Jones though? At this point,
if you look at Daniel Jones's first 6 games, I think they're on the same.
No. I'm not talking about the first 6 games. I'm talking about the same people that Jaxson Dart is playing with, Daniel Jones played with.
Who did just in the first season? I just out of curiosity, who was Daniel Jones' starting wide receivers that first season of his where he was successful?
That he was successful?
Yeah, Daniel Jones was successful his first year here with the Giants. He did
have Richie James. He did have Richie James and all that. Richie Big Play James. Oh Lord,
the same school as Jabbar.
Hey, he messed up my order at Dunkin' Donuts this morning. You know
exactly. I saw him wearing an orange apron the other day trying to help me find a hammer.
Yeah, he fucked my order up.
Just because you point things out about what people have to improve on doesn't mean you don't like it. It just means you have to understand that the rest, if I'm seeing these things, and I've said this a million times before, like I said years ago about how no one can stop. You can't. All you have to do is run off tackle against the Giants. I said that years ago, and I said
that's still true. That's still true.
If I can figure it out, the league figures it.
And you know, the day you said that, oh my God, I swear to God, the next game, they were it was all tackle, all tackle, all tackle,
and then right over the top.
Yeah. Oh my God. It is. The defense is horrible. And the 3, like you said, they are carbon. They are the same players, like Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter. Like, we shouldn't have drafted him number 3. We should have traded down. Like, we shouldn't have drafted him. I'm not saying he's going to be a bust. He might come in clutch on a Super Bowl run or something. I don't know. And that Dexter Lawrence trade shit, you hit it on the head. I love that take. That is beautiful. Let him go, man. Let him go. I feel like we should have traded him last year, but we won't. We're going to do the same Saquon Barkley shit with him, and then he's going to probably go to Dallas. I could see his fat ass in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? I could see that. Where you feel me? Is that not a good pick for? I feel like I could see him in Dallas.
Dallas is such a terrible defense. I mean, Dallas, but we would never do it because it's a divisional. Dallas would be a perfect landing spot for Dexter Lawrence. The only problem with the Dexter Lawrence issue is we got to remember he doesn't have an out on that contract until 2026. So I mean, there is an opportunity. But even if we traded him, we would have a dead cap number of $14 million in 26 and $7 million, or almost $7 to $8 million in 27. So he's got a movable contract this year if you're willing to eat the money for next year.
Yeah, and Andrew Thomas though, man. Well, he's been that rock for us, right?
He's just got to. We've said it a million times. He's just got to stay healthy.
He just has to stay healthy.
The best availability.
I mean that was a bad loss. Like I said, my bone to pick with you is Jaxson Dart. He has me so tethered to his back. I can't.
As a Jaxson Dart enthusiast, I have a question.
Please tell me.
And I want you to answer this question honestly.
Honestly, I got you, Pippin.
Every game that he has been in so far that he has started, he has come out vis-a-vis with some type of injury issue or some type of concussion protocol or something. And this is kind of where it goes to with the backyard school play. Because this is what, when you play like you're playing the schoolyard, what happens is you have more of a propensity to be injured. Do you have any concern that the fact that, and sometimes I think he doesn't play in control that and stay within the game plan, that he is going to get himself hurt?
I was hoping you were going to ask something about a chain or something, but of course you
No,
asked
no, no, no.
you only asked the only question. I got a little box for Jaxson Dart. It's a tiny box. It's this big. I keep it under my bed, yo.
Come on, man.
It says injury in there. It says injury in there. And I don't want to look at that box, so.
We've said this about
when he dove head first out of bounds for that first down. That was like, what the fuck? Like, what is? Does he not know? Like,
there are 17 games in a season.
Yeah, like, what is this man doing? But that ankle shit, that was I don't put that on him. That was, his foot got caught.
No, I'm not putting that on him. But every game so far, he's gone off to the sideline with some type of injury.
It's crazy because the Saints. He looked like a fucking baseball player, right? Yeah. Slide, and he just said, "Yeah, fuck that. I don't like the. I don't want.
There was one.
I don't like the way my thigh feels after the game.
There was one player of the Saints where he did go head first for a first down.
Yeah, I mean, but he slid like 4 times though, right in that game. He slid. Like, I don't. And it's crazy because you got Russell Wilson there with him, but like you said, I mean, how the Eagles can be 0-6. I mean, we can easily be 5-2 right now.
Exactly. Easily. And that's what I'm saying.
And it would be a dumb. It would be a dumb 5-2. Because of this defense, like Cordell Flott. He's not. No. The whole shit is a wash.
Cordell Flott, Paulson Adebo. Does Paulson Adebo look like a mistake at $54 million, 36 guaranteed?
Deontay.
I gotta ask you. You want to come on? I gotta ask you these questions.
No, he does not. No, he doesn't look good. And Deontay Banks, he looks like a refugee. I mean, he cut his hair. He just comes out there like he needs to be banished, man.
Yeah, I will say this about Deontay Banks. He is putrid. But on the last play that he gave up, he was in a good, you have to give credit to Bo Nix. Deontay Banks was in a good position to play the ball. It was just put into a better position positionally by the quarterback.
He threw him open right there. It was a good throw. I mean, he could have hit.
Way to put. He threw him, and I hate Bo. Everyone knows I can't stand Bo Nix. I think he's an Oregon product out of that system, and Peyton's kind of doing the same thing, which is why he's down this year. But he threw him open on that play.
Hell, he threw 2 people open.
He did.
The one guy could have caught it. He said, "No, fuck, I'll let this guy catch." I mean, he threw 2 people open right there. Yeah. But that, like you said, I can't. The whole team. Like Brian Burns, you screaming on the sideline, like, calm down, big dog. You were on that field. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was on that field. Like,
and everyone blaming Shane Bowen for only rushing 3 at the end. You had 20 seconds left, no timeouts. Yeah. You had, in that final play, you had 5 Giants in the same area in coverage against 2 Broncos, and Drew Phillips gives up the catch.
Isn't it beautiful? Evan Ingram's country ass catches that ball, stays in bounds.
Oh, Evan Ingram was going to do something.
I knew he was going to do something.
We all knew that. We all knew he was going to do something against.
I knew he was going to do something. He was going to either almost drop a ball and catch it and keep running. I thought it was going to be something like that, like a tap catch and keep running kind of bullshit, like ha ha ha, But
I know.
I feel good though about Jaxson, man. Scatterboo. I mean, to get this kind of production out of what was he, 4th, right?
Yeah. Was he a 4th or yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't have a 3rd. I don't want to. No, we didn't have a 3rd. We traded it for Jaxson Dart.
I don't want to ruin you with Cam Scatterville. I don't want to hurt you.
I'm not huge.
I don't want to hurt you too much today.
No. Hey. When I send out the invitation to the parties, it's not a 2 invitation. You know, it's just to Jackson's house. You know what I'm saying? It ain't.
Cam Scatterville is Wayne Gallman without speed. Wayne Gallman had 147 carries for 682 yards that one season and barely averaged 4 yards a carry. And I still remember the game in Seattle under Joe Judge when he got pulled down from behind and he broke in the open field.
They all gotta go. I don't care who picked Jackson. I'm not big on that. They all gotta go for this. I mean,
I agree.
I need my pound of flesh, Tim. I need my pound of flesh for this one.
My concern is that I think they're not going to do anything because it does not make sense to fire Shane Bowen 7 games into the season when you have 10 games left.
Yeah.
You still have an opportunity. You'll beat Philadelphia. Hope you have Philadelphia's number in Philadelphia, but you have an opportunity to beat the Eagles. Yeah. You're not going to make the playoffs. To your point, if you're going to make this a learning year with Jaxson Dart as the season takes over, I'm not happy about that because now it's 15 years of losing. But you know, it is what it is.
I'm a big year. So, I hear, like you said, you're going to stop doing this after this season, but throughout this season, you're going to see me. I'm fighting for, I like him, man. I like him. And I fucking love at the end of the game when he scored that and was on the sideline, Tim, when he screamed on that fucking sideline. Oh my God, yo, that was I like shit like that. Yo, I like the black paint. At first, when I was seeing him in college before the draft and all that, like I was, they were, talking about him, and I seen it. I didn't really understand it.
You like the black paint now because he's on your team.
Fucking like it. No.
Come on, yeah. Giant. But now he's a giant. It's the greatest fucking thing ever. Come on. That's what fans
no, because anywhere I think it would have been all right. I think I would have, like, if he was with the Eagles, I'd have been like, this motherfucker, I like that black paint. I do like that black paint shit. You know what I'm saying? But
if he was on the Cowboys or the Eagles or anyone, you would be saying that black paint is stupid, man. What the fuck is he doing? You come on, admit it. No, I'm
not gonna admit that. I'm not gonna admit that. I like it. I like him, yo. I do. I didn't feel this way about Daniel, man. I went on dates with this nigga. I didn't get this vibe. I didn't bring him upstairs. I want to bring JD upstairs, Tim. I want to bring JD upstairs. Tim, I love him. Oh my God. I fucking love him.
I don't, like I said, I have no opinion on Jaxson Dart yet because of the fact that he's only a handful of games.
But that's how this team has me. That's how I was. That's how I was gonna be with them. Like, get away from me. Like, whoa. Because that's how this team does you. Like, whoa, I need to see it first. Whoo, we were at the door. We kissed. I don't know what to tell you, Tim. I love him. I really do. That was a bad interception. That New Orleans shit. I mean, 5 turnovers in a row. That was. We ain't even talking about that.
And three of them were by your left.
Yeah, the ball slipped out his hands. This shit was stupid. But it's just, I feel like we were just a meme with this man for so long. Daniel Jones, like the slipping on the turf shit, and I mean, he would fumble all the fucking time.
I've said it before. It's like you had vanilla for 6.5 years, and someone gave you Rocky Road, and you don't know what to fucking do.
Did you say that? I didn't hear you say that. Damn, that's a good thing. You hit me on the head.
It's vanilla for 6.5 years, then you got Rocky Road. And oh man, this is great.
It is. My wife just started working out all of a sudden. I guess like she's looking good now. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't share separate rooms no more. We're down to one room now. Like, hey, you're right. Until Thanksgiving comes around, and I mean, this is an okay position. I like the position I'm in right now because I can look forward to each. That black box though is always there. I ain't gonna lie to you. That black box injury, it scares me. It's there, but I like to look at these games and I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to watch them. Man, the man had me so going yesterday. That sucked for everybody. I'm sorry everybody had to go through that, but I felt something, I felt something in my tummy rumbling after that tip pass. This shit just felt. I seen those fans leaving, and in my brain, I yelled. I was like, "Get the fuck out of there!" And something came over me after that. I was like, "Whoa, they shouldn't be leaving. They shouldn't be leaving." I felt like they shouldn't be leaving.
Reception that came over you next.
Yeah.
To make you feel even worse. Do you remember what I said about Wan'Dale Robinson his rookie season?
Yes.
I said if Wan'Dale Robinson does not learn to protect himself on this field, he is not going to survive. And then
that man got what, 2 ACLs?
Like a week later.
That motherfucker, man. I'm not saying I just feel like you're wrong about this one.
Oh no, I'm not saying. I'm like I've said it over
one.
and over again. I can't tell you if he's going to be the Giants' NFL quarterback, and I can't tell you.
Yeah. You're right. I forgot. You actually soothed me on that. You're even keel on it. You need some more.
Literally been 3 games into his starting career. I can't tell you.
Yeah. No. That's the greatest approach, though. That's the approach that I always take.
Everyone fell into the love child of Daniel Jones, and everyone fell Jersey Shore Tommy and Tommy DeVito. And I kept telling people,
I hated that.
An extended period of time. Just don't give me a 3-game sample and then tell me that he is the Messiah, that he's the new Savior. Because the league will adjust, because that's what the league does.
I just feel like because it's not none of this bullshit. Like it wasn't like, oh, it's the fucking Vikings, that shitty defense. We never beat the Eagles. We never win on Thursday night. I think, like you said, boy, they gave me a whole bowl of that fucking sprinkles and strawberry ice cream on Thursday night, because I was so used to porridge. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm used to eating the porridge and just keeping it pushing.
Here's the one thing that Giants fans overlook on that Thursday night game. Jalen Hyatt does not overthrow Devontae Smith. It's a touchdown. Jalen Hyatt does not make a bad throw, which AJ Brown was open. The score is a different game. We won that game as much as the Eagles offense gave it to us, because the Eagles offense is just so discombobulated. They got no fucking clue what they're doing. And I'm glad they don't, because ever since he went over to the Saints, their offensive coordinator has been terrible. And Nick Sirianni's best friend. So he's not like he's going to get rid of him.
Hey, that bar shit is funny. You talking about them drinking at the bar, and he said, "You want to work for me?"
Yeah. You want to be offensive coordinator? Sure. Why not?
For real.
I can do it. All right, my friend. Let me let you go, because I got someone else that wants to pop on real quick. I appreciate you always for following and watching. And anytime you got a bone to pick, you're welcome.
Peace.
All right. What do we got here? Key.
Hey Tim, what's going on?
What's going on, my friend? How you doing?
I'm good. I heard. So I got a little debate with you real quick.
Okay, no problem.
Because I heard you in the beginning of the podcast, and it's an overall group loss. But my thing is, I blame this on the coaches and Joe Schoen.
Well, that's part of the overall group, because while they call the plays and build the team, you as a former college player, I can tell you have to execute, because at the end of the game, like I said, everyone's overlooking and saying, well, you only rushed 3 and you dropped 8 in the coverage, but fundamental football tells you that's what you do. And you had 5 Giants in the same zone as 2 Denver wide receivers, which means one of those Denver wide receivers ran the wrong route. So to me, that's more of a busted play. And the fact that you had 5 Giants and they have no timeouts and it's under 20 seconds left. Yeah, that is the right quote unquote football play. You're not playing prevent, but your job is to stop them from getting to that invisible field goal line. Keep the play in front of you, keep it in the middle of the field, and burn off as much time as possible. But if you can, you prevent them from catching the ball. But you had 5 Giants in that one area. So I don't care about the pass rush, because the pass rush is normally, like I said, 99% of the time, you are going to rush 3 in that scenario, because you have to keep everyone back in coverage, because they're going to drop 5 deep.
Well, don't you think Shane Bowen should have learned from the Dallas game? Keep dropping back all his players. That's how we lost the Dallas game.
The problem is, and this is what everyone kind of wants to overlook. Tyler Newbin does not have the speed to play safety. He should be a qualified in the box safety. Drew Phillips, for all the tackles he makes 9 solo tackles, but I guarantee you I'll have the advanced stats on Wednesday. I guarantee you he gave up 8 completions. The league over the last 2 weeks were completing 100% of their passes to Drew Phillips' side. Deonte Banks, I don't know what's going on with Deonte Banks. You either just got to cut him or try to move on from him.
Trade him.
It's the same thing with Paulson Adebo. Paulson Adebo, we talked about it before. Most people in the league said coming off of that injury, you give him a 2-year deal, $20 million, 10-year guaranteed, and an out in the second. But the Giants decided they were going to get cute and give him 54-36 guaranteed. When everyone knows coming back from that type of injury, some players never come back. So you have these guys that are playing either with a lack of ability, and you have these guys that some of them just may not have the ability anymore to be playing in an NFL secondary.
Yes, yeah, I hear you.
You have to admit, though, you have to admit this, kid. You have to tell me this if this is not true. What has this vaunted pass rush done the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks? What have outside of Brian Burns? What has Kayvon Thibodeau with 2.5 sacks in 7 games and Abdul Carter a half a sack in 7 games? What have they done to give you any onus that you wanted to take additional players out of that secondary and put them on the rush? And don't forget, Bo Nix. I've said it before. To me, he's not a scrambling quarterback. He is a running quarterback, which means if you rush 4, you overcommit. You leave the middle of the field open for Bo Nix to run. And here's the thing, Bo Nix, if you do that with Bo Nix and you allow him to run to the middle of the field, most people will be like, well, that's a death sentence. No, he's the quarterback, so he has the ball. So all you have to do is just get everyone up on the line real quick, because everyone offensive line should be running at the same time with Bo Nix, so you get back up and line up and spike the ball.
Well, to answer your question with that, the defense really hasn't done much besides Brian Burns, and I don't really see anything going on with Kayvon Thibodeau. Like, everybody's saying he's having this miraculous season, this and that, but I never really liked him because he will always not get to the quarterback. And I'm like, yo, he's not Aiden Hutchinson. So I'm like, this is just ridiculous. But and also with Abdul, I'm like, I don't really see what's going on with Abdul. They're saying, oh, pressures, but like what you always do. King of the almost sack?
King of the almost sack.
Yeah. So that's what he's doing. All those pressures for what? And I'm like, that's not going to do anything. We need to get the quarterback, not get pressures.
And the fact is, he hasn't had a pressure in going on 3 weeks now.
But then also
that Saint game was my huge eye opener, because I was like, not Saint game, the Eagle game in a win. He played 70+% of the snaps and had nothing on the stat line. No pressures, no sacks, no tackles for losses, nothing. All he had was downs played.
But now also, this is also the reason why I blame Joe Schoen and the coaches as well, because how is it that they're always underprepared when it comes to the kicker? 3 seasons, 4 seasons straight. This is crazy.
Well, that again, to get a quality NFL kicker, we have, and this is why I get so worked up with other content creators like, well, we're going to go sign this big name wide receiver. No, we did not have enough salary cap space until there was reworking of the contracts to bring in an actual kicker. We brought in a guy basically who got cut by Rutgers, who's never made a 40-yard field goal in his career. And we have him as our, if he's not gone today, if his luggage is not already packed and thrown out somewhere as they're coming back from Denver, this Joe Schoen's dumber than I thought.
Yeah, he gotta go. Like, that's ridiculous. But I still don't understand that with the kicker situation. Like, how you could have got rid of Gano, that would have saved you some money. We have what's his name? Young Koo?
Yeah, but he's kicked in the NFL, but I don't call him an NFL kicker.
Well, he would probably been better than Matamini, right?
That's true. No, I'm not gonna fault you on that one. That's true.
Yeah, like he probably would have. You could have probably relied on him to make the extra, the PAT, and that would have got us red right there. But I'm like, this is
Ever
ridiculous.
since they moved that PAT line back, the Giants have not figured out how to kick an extra point.
But now also the other thing too is I also blame what's his name? Brian Daboll as well. Yes, Jaxson Dart threw that interception, but he put his players in the bad situation as well, due to the fact of they play scared to win. They had the lead. They should keep putting their foots on the necks, but they just like, well, we're gonna play with the lead, and now you're messing up the rookie.
The thing with that is I actually disagree.
Okay.
If anything, you had the lead, and if anything, to me, they went the opposite of conservative with that play call. It's almost like they got cute. And my thing with that play was they only had one timeout left, Denver. So all you had to do was run the ball, and they would have taken that timeout. And so at that point in time, you can then punt, and you have a vaunted defense, allegedly. So you're going to pin them deeper back into their territory, and you are going to have them have to march down the field again with no timeouts. And at that point in time, I believe we could have been up by 2 scores.
So like what you just said, that just makes it clear. Like, yes, it's an overall group decision, but the coaches chose to pass that ball.
Mike Kafka got cute. Mike Kafka, and he put the ball in the hands of a rookie quarterback, and the rookie quarterback does what rookie quarterbacks do at times: make a mistake.
And I'm like, it's just ridiculous because we had the lead, and should we all, as Giants fans, we should all be confident that we have the lead. Once we got the second touchdown at the end when Jaxson Dart reached for it, we should have that confidence. We got 30 seconds left. We should win this game. But I was at the edge of my seat, and I'm like, I don't believe we're gonna win because this is just like the Dallas game. We always lose with the field goal.
It was the doubt.
Like,
to your point, Russell Wilson brought the Giants back twice in the fourth quarter against Dallas. And somehow, miraculously, they kicked that field goal and pushed it into OT when that game never should have gone to overtime. That should have been. I don't know why we it's almost like we play well for the first 52 minutes. And those last 8 minutes, and this time it was the last 15 minutes, because I've been watching football for 49 years. I've never seen a team be shut out the first 3 quarters and then drop 33 in 15 minutes. I've never seen that.
Now, a question with this. Where do you think the team goes from here? Such as, obviously, we all probably want some coaches fired, but what do you really think is going to actually happen? Nothing.
I don't think anything's going to happen. Only because of the fact that what does firing Shane Bowen accomplish right now? Who is going to be your defensive coordinator? Yes, you'll probably promote Patterson or someone else on the staff, but you're going to run the same system. You're not all of a sudden change your defensive philosophy because you have worked on this defensive game plan for literally, since the offseason. Literally since Shane Bowen's first season, you have worked on this since that for the last 24 months. You're not going to change your defensive philosophy. All you're doing is changing the guy that's calling the plays. And a lot of times the guy that's calling the plays, and I love this, people sometimes forget this, is they are listening to their support staff, such as your defensive line coach, such as your secondary coach, such as your defense quality coordinator. You're listening to these guys. So you're going to basically promote someone that's been in the Bowen system. You're not going to be able to really fully change the system until next year.
I miss Wink. I think if we had Wink Martindale. Now, this crazy part is if we had Wink Martindale, Banks would probably be the number 1 or number 2 corner. But since we don't have Wink Martindale, he doesn't fit the Bowen system.
He doesn't.
Now he's looking like a bum and a bust. But I'm like, he fit the Wink system perfectly. And now he's just not turning his head over, giving up plays. And it just really makes no sense. It's horrible.
Here's the thing that I look at internally with the Giants, who they could promote within. everyone's going to give you the thought process of Andre Patterson, the defensive line coach. But here's my thing with Andre Patterson. How well has the defensive line played really the last 2 years? And then other people will probably take a look at and say someone like Jeff Burris, who is the cornerback coach. Our secondary's been shit.
Yeah.
So the only other name that I would potentially think about moving into the DC position would be former Bears linebacker who's on the team, also Bears and Dolphins, is Brian Cox. Because I think Brian Cox is one of these guys that he has been he was a defensive line coach for years at Atlanta, for Tampa. He was the defensive coach over at Cleveland Browns. He was actually an assistant coach for years over with the Jets. You know, he is a guy that I think probably has more of the ear of the locker room of defensive players than some of the other guys do. And I think he would probably be, to me, the most logical choice to move. But maybe you blitz more. But the rush hasn't got there. Our pass rush ratio to win ratio just isn't there. And you're rushing 3 undersized defensive ends who has a propensity to overcommit. And when they do that, what do you do as a offense? You just run the ball, which is what teams have been doing the first 7 weeks.
Now, I will say, if we do get a
Key, did we lose you? Let's see. Key, we lost you there, brother. It looks like we lost Key. And okay, well, Key, if you want to come back, I'm gonna have to push you out right now. And if you want to come back, make sure you come back. But I'm gonna kick you from the studio right now. And I'm gonna move it. I do not know how to pronounce this name. Hello.
Hey, what's up, my man? How are you?
Good. How do you fully pronounce your name?
Gennaro.
Gennaro. That's what I thought, because there was a movie, of course, called Necessary Roughness, where it was Coach Gennaro. So I'm just gonna call you Coach. That was a movie from the 80s. You're not gonna know, but I'm just gonna call you Coach Gennaro.
I do know one thing. We got to get rid of this DC.
Who are you gonna bring in?
As of right now, I would say you kind of look in house. But I mean, if you're losing the respect of the players, how serious do these people take you? I mean, you got Brian Burns. I would realistically say that's your best person on defense. Like, that is your guy.
Right.
You know, the saying, like, a dog only respects a dog.
Yep.
You got Shane Bowen, who's just on the fucking heels of his feet. He doesn't play winning football. He doesn't play to win. The guy's like, oh, let's just drop back and hopefully we can stop him. Fuck that, dude. I mean, like, this team is built just on the pass rush alone. No matter how effective it is or all of your assets, I mean, most of your money is in that, if we're going to be honest. You got to let them eat. You got to let them eat. You got to put some pressure on Bo Nix. I mean, any quarterback in the league, I'm talking Marcus Mariota, could sit back and wait 5 seconds and find somebody open against a secondary that really isn't the best.
Actually, Marcus Mariota did not have a good day yesterday against Dallas' secondary.
No, yeah, I mean, but listen, Dallas has an all right secondary, but at the end of the day, it's like Dallas wasn't rushing 3 and dropping 8 and giving them, the 50-yard line. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
the fundamental football play
is to do that.
That I do not fault Shane Bowen that. And if you have, and this is why I say we have to also look at the players. You had 5 Giants in that zone, in that area. You had 5, and there was 2 Denver Broncos, which tells me one of the Denver Broncos players was on a busted route. Ran
100%. I mean, listen, at the end of that, like, if you're a good coach, you got to play to your players' strengths. Right. I mean, that's what a coach does. You have to take what you have and you have to say, okay, we're good at this. How many times have we seen a Drew Phillips, a Banks, not turn their head on a play, not get in the right position? I mean, it's kind of crazy. So it's like, at this point, your strength, the whole game, your strength was blowing up their offensive line and either stopping the run or putting Bo Nix under pressure. And while we did that, they shit the bed. They were literally zeros.
Well, the problem with putting Bo Nix under pressure, and we talked about this in the stream yesterday, I've said this before, Bo Nix is not a scrambling quarterback. Bo Nix is a running quarterback. There is a difference. And what happened towards the end was the fact that Bo Nix was given the lanes by the Giant defense. to basically at that point in time open up the field and open up the running lanes. And that is, while that is definitely a fault on your coaching staff, but that is also a fundamental failure on the players that you have on the field, because you should know Bo Nix can run.
100%. I mean, listen, when I was playing football, I played from 4 years old to senior year of high school. I always got taught heel line.
Yeah.
You replace the heel line of the offensive lineman and you sit. You don't give up a gap that way. You keep them right there. You keep them contained.
Yep.
Now, you have a player like Burns. Burns sometimes overcommits, but that guy is a physical specimen where he can make up for his mistake. Kayvon Thibodeau cannot.
No.
He cannot.
No,
He can't. It's hard for him to read a quick handoff. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
No,
and then the kicker. You have the kicker, right? The kicker. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. Shane Bowen put him there. It's Shane Bowen's fault. You take a guy from the international thing. He played at Rutgers. I mean, like you have film on this guy, and you put him there.
Well, he's never kicked more than a 40-yard field goal going back.
Well, I mean, I bet you he didn't. You couldn't make a PAT. So how could you make it from 40?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, and PATs
you make it from 40,
but not much further than they.
But it's just another thing. Like, I love this team and watching this team since I'm a young child and I could watch football. With Shane Bowen, I see football and I'm just like, I kind of get disgusted. Like 19-0, I'm like in my head, I'm like thinking of ways. Like, all right, how are we gonna lose? Like, what's gonna happen that they're gonna come back?
It was funny because I was at the Chargers game and I said the same thing. We were winning, and in the section that I was in, you would almost thought towards the end of the game they were all of us was waiting for the shoe to drop. All of us was waiting for how are we going to fuck this up?
No, 100%. I mean, I was at the Eagles game Thursday night, and it was an electric night. And it's just like, the deep pass to Smith that he dropped. It's just like, oh, like it's like you're just waiting. Like, what's gonna happen?
The bad throw that you throw that over A.G. Brown's shoulder. That's a touchdown. The same thing with Devontae Smith. You hit him.
Even the pick with Flott. I mean, A.J. Brown was wide open. Open.
Right.
That's just like they give you the game.
That's a different game. Jalen Hurts basically, and I said it before, the Giants played well enough to win, but at times the Eagles gave us the game.
Oh, 100%. But that's what happened today. That's what happened. I mean, yesterday.
That's why they play the game every Sunday.
We gave them the game. Gave it to them. And I honestly like the kid Jaxson Dart. I love him.
Oh yeah, like I said, everyone thinks I have this problem with Jaxson Dart. All I'm just saying is it's been 4 weeks. Everyone got enamored with Daniel Jones after 4 weeks, and it's like, okay, let this kid get more into a system. Like I said, I talked to 2 people that worked in the NFL for years and one that still works in the NFL and says it's right now with Jaxson Dart is too much schoolyard, which is why he's always ending up on the sideline every game with some type of issue and some type of injury. He's got to play more control and he's got to learn to protect himself. Or it's like I said with Wan'Dale Robinson, if you don't learn to protect yourself on the field, it as a former player, you're going to get hurt.
Oh, you're going to get destroyed. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have like really bad things happen to you. But at the end of the day, the fact that we have the talent to where we can scrape out some games and the schemes are just terrible to where they have to resort to backyard football, I'm a little happy with, because at least, if we get the right guys, they have the ability to make plays.
Well, that's the thing. And running backyard football it is a bad term, but it's not for a short period of time because it works.
100%.
It's not till the league figures out, and there are plenty of much, much smarter defensive coordinators and defensive assistants than I.
And Kafka. Kafka. I'll tell you that much.
In reference to football knowledge, that'll tell you it's not a difficult thing to game plan for once you start figuring it out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you seen him in the pocket yesterday. Last drive, we got really lucky. Pass interference, almost threw 2 picks. I mean, come on. Was that I played defensive back in college? I looked at that as a pass interference. I was like, how could you not more technically sound cover that play and then still get called a pass interference? I mean, yeah, listen, I mean, it's a classic, like, those 50-50s, and they got lucky with the call, and the call just went their way.
Yeah.
And the fact that, I mean, it goes back to situational football. You've played football. When you have 40 seconds and you're not really in these types of situations, you're not confident in your defense. And look what happened with Dallas. Like, you can't be confident with that.
Nope.
Why punch it in immediately? You have Cam Scatterboo and you have a timeout.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it's almost a disservice that he got in.
If you're going to fire anyone, you got to start from the top and go head down. Because like I said, we talked about it a few minutes before you came on. If you look internally, Andre Patterson, people are like, oh, well, just promote him because he's got the ear of the team. Well, honestly, the defensive line has not been great.
It really hasn't. I mean, it's just pure talent and busted plays that kind of give us,
You can't promote Jeff Burris because he's the cornerback coach, and the quarterbacks have been horrible. The only person that I would think about promoting would be like Brian Cox, because I think he would be more aggressive as a former linebacker, but you're not going to be able to reinvent and change the entire scheme of your defense because you've been running the same defense for a year and a half. You'll make certain changes. You'll make certain adjustments. You'll change some of your rushes and maybe have a little bit more exotic blitz packages, but you're not going to change the philosophy of the defense because you are 7 games already into a season.
Now, how do you feel about bringing Pearson?
Again, you're going to bring a guy from outside. Pierce really was not, and people need to look at this. Pierce was not really overly successful as a defensive coordinator with the Raiders. He was not overly successful. And he had that short run as an interim head coach. But then, to your point, as you said it before with Shane Bowen, he lost the locker room because of the fact that he was not ready to be a head coach. So I don't think bringing in, I don't want to call him a retread, but bringing in a guy, if you're going to bring somebody in, you got to bring in someone with a shit ton of experience. You got to find someone that has been a defensive coordinator their entire life.
I like Saleh. Saleh.
I think but Saleh.
He's with the 49ers, I think, right?
Yeah, he's with the 49ers. He replaced Wilkes. I thought Steve, if you would have waited a week, you could have had Steve Wilkes on the Giants.
100%.
We panicked and we went and we got and like I said, I am not a Shane Bowen fan. Everyone knows that. I've been talking about that since the days, in Tennessee. But they're really, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to go. You're going to have to go out of house, in my mind, and you're going to have to find someone that, like I said, that has this, that has something, that can change the defensive mindset. It would never happen, but because of the fact that he is, he would never come back to football. But bringing in a guy like like a Dennis Allen, who was a head coach forever, and was, but he started as he was a defensive mind head coach who was a defensive coordinator for years, but of course he would never do that. But I'm just saying it would make sense that if you're going to make a change in season, do it externally, because, to me, the cancer's still in the body.
100%. And I think, honestly, if you're going to go outside and you're going to try to find something outside, I don't think you're going to get it midseason. And if you do get it midseason, I don't think you're going to get anything of quality. You're just going to take one person and maybe replace him with a slightly better, we need a whole new thing. And if the head coach does go, do you like Gruden? Because I think I like Gruden.
I worked for Gruden. Everyone knows that I love John Gruden. I worked I worked in the 7-9 and 6-10 season after the Super Bowl. I think Gruden, to me, what he got in trouble for was nothing more than the culture of the NFL and the NFL locker room. Because if you've ever been in an NFL locker room, that is not for the faint of heart. So I think he was a scapegoat because of, a change in a philosophy in reference to, the period in time that we're in. But I don't think John Gruden would come to New York. I've always said if John Gruden would come to New York, I'd be calling up some people I know that still know him, and I would ask for a job.
You know what's funny to me? I watched the interview that he did with Jaxson Dart.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're gonna get rid of the head coach and Daboll, which I mean, you have a ton of arguments to do that. You have a bunch of evidence on why you should do that. Game management, I mean, play calling, the list goes on. But you got to bring in somebody who wants that type of quarterback. I mean, you got to.
People have to remember also, John Gruden did not have a good run his last run with the Raiders.
He did not.
He did not. So and like I said, if I think John Gruden's happy being, and like I said, I don't know him. Working with someone and knowing someone's different thing. I don't know him, but I think personally, I think he likes being what he's doing now, because there's really no pressure. And he can be that, he can be that personality and still get paid. And
100%. I just kind of like him as a not even a head coach, like someone to just develop Jaxson Dart. I mean, like if you look at what we had developing Daniel Jones, do you trust them to develop Jaxson Dart? Because as soon as Daniel Jones leaves, he's a MVP 6-1, breaking records on the offense. I mean, it's crazy.
No. I hear about Brian Daboll being the quarterback guru, but all quarterbacks do at the Giants is go other places and be successful.
Yeah, I think Jaxson Dart. I think he's a a unicorn. He's a generational talent. I mean, he does things that, I mean, just coming out of college, pocket presence. You can't really teach that. It's kind of just in you, from what I've seen and how I've played. And it's pocket presence is a huge thing. But like he has the strength of his arm to be in the NFL.
Right.
Is he as accurate as he needs to be? Probably not. But it's a rookie. It's growing pains. It's growing pains.
That's what I keep telling people. He's a rookie. Give him a moment, because there's going to be. We've said this before on this channel a million times, especially when the rookies start at a high peak. Normally, they go up a high peak, they come down a little, then they level off, and then there's a drop. And there's going to be a drop with Jaxson Dart within the season, and people are going to have to understand. And I guarantee you, as soon as that drop happens, a lot of I'm not saying you, but a lot of fans that are so
jumping ship. Oh,
they're going to say he's nothing, but that's just how quarterback play is in the NFL, which is why they have that phrase, the sophomore slump.
I mean, look at Jaden Daniels.
The league adjusts.
Look at Jaden Daniels. Look at Bo Nix. Even look at Bo Nix.
Yep.
His play slump, but people who play football, I feel like I'm not taking anything away from it. I played high school football, so it's not really like a big feat. But like if you've played football and you have a football mind and you love the game, A, it's a rookie quarterback. You can't just jump ship on him.
Yep.
And B, you drafted him in the first round, so now you got to give him it.
Exactly. All right, Mr. Gennaro, listen, I got to let you go because I got another person that wants to jump on, so I got to make sure I get everyone in before I close this out today. Make sure if you're ever to see the chat open again, make sure you come on. You were an excellent guest, and we'd love to have you back on again.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. You too. See, I was seeing like a whole bottle of wine.
No, that wasn't wine.
Oh, that wasn't wine. I was like, oh my God, is he that upset that he's dropping a whole bottle of wine?
No, that's the regular BEER. Regular beer. Nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy at 12:17 on a Monday.
Yep.
So what's good, man? Did anything been going on like the last 24 hours? Anything you want to talk about? I haven't seen you, so I don't know. Is anything going on?
Just the Giants suck. Giants suck, man. It's until we get rid of the entire front office, everyone. We're never going. Winning teams find ways to win. Losing teams find ways to lose, and that was what you saw yesterday.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
that's exactly what you saw yesterday. I mean, there's enough blame to go around, and I think what people aren't talking about enough of, we can blame the defense, definitely. Mm-hmm. More fingers to point at than I have on my hand. But what people aren't talking about is the very super conservative play calling that started happening when the game started getting tight. We were like, okay, we're going to do a toss right, toss left, pass play that goes incomplete, punt the ball. We're relying on our defense, who's already tired because we went 3 and out, then got a daggone interception. After going 3 and out again, our defense has been tired, and no one. If we get 2 first downs, we ice the game away.
Here's the thing about that, and I disagree with that right off the bat. Reference the time.
Wonka yourself, because I'm right.
Reference the time of possession. What do you think the time? If our defense was tired, what do you think our time of possession was?
Oh, I'm not talking about the whole game. I'm talking about the last few possessions.
But here's the thing. This is the interesting thing.
The last few possessions.
Time of possession was almost 30 minutes to 30 minutes. So their defense was on the field just as much as our defense. Their offense was on the field just as much as our offense. So to me, if we're gassed and we're tired, and the other team who just put up 33 points in a quarter isn't just as gassed or tired, what does that say about our conditioning or how we're rotating our players?
Right. But we don't have players to rotate. Remember, we didn't have money to get no other players.
I know, but you got to say these things. That's why I have a show. If I can't say this shit, then I don't have a show.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, we we don't have that kind of money, but that offense, I was like, we're getting ready to just start going run, pass, run, pass, and a, a toss to Cam Scatterboo is like just the dumbest play. It's a really dumb play. I'd have rather them do a flea flicker
I
at that point.
I don't even want to talk about it. You got Tyrone Tracy back. And you're running a toss. Tyrone Tracy, who had a 40-yard run already, and you're throwing a toss. You're throwing this Cam Scatterboo, who's as fast as Wayne Gallman.
Right, and I'm just like, everyone should be fired, and I agree with you. Firing Shane Bowen, it doesn't do anything to move the needle for this year.
It doesn't make a change.
Yeah.
And who are you going to? Like I said, you're going to promote Andre Patterson, who is, let's be honest, the defensive line has been horrid. Jeff Burris is the only other guy I can think you would promote, and his corners have been god awful. My logical choice, I would promote Brian Cox, because Brian Cox to me is a fiery guy. While he's never been a DC before, you're not going to change the defensive system that you're running because you're too far into the season. Like I said, you might blitz more, you might throw out some more automatic packages, but you're pretty much going to run the same defense. But I think he is a fiery guy. But here's the problem with promoting Byron Cox. I don't think he's a Daboll yes man, and we already know with Wink that does not work.
Well, you don't even have to say yes. What we got? How many more games we got left? 10?
10 games.
10 games left?
10 games left.
That's all we got with Brian Daboll. He's gone. He's gone. Because I don't know if we're mathematically out of the playoffs yet, but once we're mathematically out the playoffs, given who we play the Eagles next, that should probably be a loss.
We play the Eagles, and then we play the 49ers at home.
49ers is possible. It's possible. I'll tell you what, the channel jinxed us too. The TV jinxed us too. Because as soon as they said, oh, the Giants haven't won a road game in 8 tries. This is 8 times they haven't won a road game. I'm like, oh, wow, looks like we're going to change that. Here's the game changed immediately after that.
Here's the problem with the Giants. You have the Eagles in Philadelphia. You got the 49ers at home.
Possible win.
You have the Bears in Chicago.
Loss.
You have the Green Bay Packers in MetLife. You have the Lions at home.
Definite loss.
The Lions on the road. I'm sorry. You have the Patriots in New England. The Patriots have been playing fucking lights out.
Loss. And you didn't like Drake May. Drake May looks good.
Drake May looks good. You could potentially take the Commanders game if Jaden Daniels is still out. And then you have the Vikings and the Raiders, and you have the Raiders at away, the Vikings at home, and then you play the Cowboys at home.
We could beat the Raiders.
I think we could beat the Raiders.
I give us about 2 more wins. I've
said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm still seeing 5 wins. I've yet to move off my 5-win thing. I still think 9 wins takes the division. Oh shit! Here we go.
I said 3.
Doing it well. It's Jim Williams.
The brothers are back. The gang's
he represents
all back.
Queens. I was raised out of Brooklyn. From the back.
Thank you. I need one of those.
The trio is here. Hold on. I got it. It's not racist, but I got to make the Oreo.
There we go.
There we go.
We're all locked in here. James texted me yesterday. He's like, we find the most interesting way to lose games. I'm like,
yeah, we're you know what?
I had nothing. I was like, it's crazy.
We are the best at losing games that I've ever seen.
Yeah. My wife is yelling at the TV. I was like, I expected us to lose the game anyway, so I'm fine.
I got to go outside and play with the kids on the floor, but I just came on just to say salute to my brothers. I saw T-Brad. I ain't seen him in a minute. Wanted to say what up. Brother Tim. I miss y'all. I love y'all. But I just came on to say real quick, I've never seen so many people get mad at the backup kicker when you gave up 33 points in the fourth. I've seen so many people mad. What's this guy's name? T-Brad Sotomayor?
I could not.
McIntosh.
I don't remember names of people who make the kicks.
His name is not in the NFL no more.
So I just want to say,
not gonna work here anymore.
We brought in the dude from Atlanta though, the Asian dude. and then we didn't use him, and then we brought this kid out there, and this kid has sucked for 2-3 weeks. Okay.
Hey, you know what else has sucked the last 2-3 years?
What?
Our general management.
Well, he'll be back.
We don't want to break the continuity of stupidity.
No.
We want to make sure we want to make sure we're very consistent.
Well, he'll be back.
Oh my god.
These guys are going to be back. The captains of the Titanic will be back.
Well, I think the captain.
That's amazing.
I think he drowned. I think he went down with the ship.
I think he did too. Yeah, he did. So,
not that I'm saying Brian Daboll should drown, but I'm just saying I think he should not be back.
Well, he's the savior.
I don't want to get any more trouble than I normally get in. Yeah, because the last podcast we lost like 28 subscribers. I don't know why. I was so kind.
Why are you losing subscribers? Just because?
Because I was honest, and I basically was way too honest on Sunday.
Yo,
yeah.
It was a lack of coffee moment.
We went from beating Philadelphia to losing to Denver.
I think we also lost to the Saints somewhere in there.
Did we lose to the Saints? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The ultimate second trap game.
Yep. We thought we were good. We beat the Chargers. We're gonna be good. Then we lose to Atlanta. Oh no, we suck again. Then we beat the Eagles. Yeah, you can do it. Then we lose to Denver. We blow the game to Denver. Oh no, we suck again.
Hey, listen, Daniel Jones is better than Justin Herbert. That's my hot take. That's my hot take. That's what I got.
Oh my god, we have gone well off the deep end right now.
I mean, he beat the Duck. He must be better than the Duck.
He's 6-1.
He's 6-1.
He's 6-1. That's what you got. That's what you got.
How many of those teams he's beaten has winning records? How many teams has he beaten that has winning records?
Well, listen, we beat the Chargers, so you know.
Do the Chargers still have a winning record? I think they have a losing record now.
I think they have a losing record. I think they're at 500.
Okay. Yeah. How many winning teams have they beat?
Come on, he beat Arizona and Las Vegas and Tennessee.
Well, hey, Miami. He beat Denver.
That's true. He did beat Denver. He did. I
don't know what that means because we should have beat Denver, but
yeah, it's that last 30 seconds that we blew it. And drop. I don't care what nobody says.
Wait. Hold on here. We got to bring in the whole crew.
Yo.
Oh, there he is. He's been hiding.
Supplying the wine to Texas so they can deal with the Cowboys. Well, no, the Cowboys won. Wait a minute. I forgot.
Oh, no. It's extra wine because so this way the husbands can keep the wives busier longer.
Well, you need a lot of wine, man. Evidently, the wine supply here in New Jersey, I heard ran out yesterday about 7:01.
Oh, wow.
God, dog. You know, y'all want to hear something that's funny?
Y'all want
to hear something funny? This is hilarious. Who's the head coach of the Saints again?
Oh, Kellen Moore.
I was gonna say, why are you bringing up Kellen Moore? I was like, wait a minute. I feel like I'm walking into a trap.
You are walking into a trap. It's gonna be a great trap. Who haven't we beat since a certain quarterback in our division been starting? There's a certain guy. Rhymes with Pack, Knack, Stack. Yeah. Wasn't that his offensive coordinator for a long time?
That was. And he was offensive coordinator for the Eagles last year.
Yeah, and he just has our number. Period. He knows exactly what, and that's what I'm like. Wait a minute, that's the factor there. He already knows what they're going to do defensively. He's known our number for years.
That was the factor 2 weeks ago. But what about yesterday? What about Denver?
Oh, Denver was
everybody
easy.
Has our number.
Denver was easy. That Mile High club finally caught up to him in the fourth quarter because their brain fog was amazing. It was non-existent. 33 points.
I think a brain fog is a good way to put it. I do think that I just think our secondary is not good. So, I mean, how many times?
We already knew that as soon as we heard that Cordell Flott was gonna darn near be a starter. And we were like, Cordell Flott. I forgot about Cordell Flott since we drafted him. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, wait, he's still around?
Yeah. Yo, Don, real quick. Did y'all see the big play that Bo Nix had the Mims when Phillips is running next to him and then he turns around like, oh crap, you caught that? He literally, holy crap, you caught that?
we have that play. I'm gonna put the play up on the screen.
He went like this. He went like that. I said to Hollywood, where'd he go? Go.
Man, hey, don't talk about our best defensive player in the secondary. You know, he makes all the tackles. Don't. There'll be no Drew Phillips blasphemy of the best tackler in our secondary.
I'm gonna say this right now. The best defensive player in our secondary is the goal line because everyone's running over it.
Oh, that's a good question.
What was the question?
No, say it again, T. Brad.
T. He said something about Abdul Carter.
No,
he said, did Abdul Carter play?
Yes.
Did he play?
Yep, he had two assisted tackles and one tackle. That's what he did.
Here, hold on. I'm gonna move over here. I'm gonna be T. Brad. I'm gonna be T. Brad now. Tim is just this great guy. He's so wonderful. I'm so glad to be on the show and just all the nice things I could possibly say about him. Well, thank you. Well, hold on. Well, thank you, T. Brad. I really greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome.
God, dog. This is great entertainment right here.
Yo, this is crazy. This is what you do when your team just loses in the most dramatic ways.
Well, we are good at that. We are good at losing. We are good at losing in the most dramatic ways. I have to give us full credit for that. But I'm just going to say this once, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it over and over again. Is Shane Bowen a problem at the defensive coordinator position? Yes. But if you're not going to put any responsibility on the players, it doesn't matter. Like I said, that final play, you had 5 Giants in the same area against two receivers from Denver, which tells me one of the Denver players ran the wrong route. So when you have a 5-2 advantage, how does Drew Phillips give up the catch?
Because he was looking to tackle. Because we know he can't do nothing else. So he was looking for the tackle. Where do you know that?
Oh, so he's waiting for him to catch the ball, then tackle. Oh, gotcha.
I learned
hey, that's how he does.
He did have 9 solo tackles, which is telling me he gave up 9 completions.
Look, we need him to grow 5 inches. We need him to grow 5 inches and gain about 40 pounds and put him at linebacker because we need somebody else to tackle besides him, apparently. Just put him right at linebacker. He'll fit right in. He'll tackle right after the line of scrimmage. It'll work perfectly. Okay, that's what's needed at this point.
Players that I'm sick of.
Oh, God. Let me get back to work. I don't even have time for this long list.
Drew Phillips, Tyler Newman, Cordell Flott, Paulson Adebo. My Mrs. Online Big Blue says I love this, Don, because she's never seen you before. And she goes,
hello.
She goes, it sounds like the guy that comes through our TV.
I know. My proper English. People adore me when I do that. You should wait until I have my Caucasian voice. I'm at work too.
No,
it's amazing.
I play Helldiver 2 with Don, and I'm too cheap to buy a new headset. So what I do is Don comes through the television because my headset's broken. So I have to use the microphone on the headset, but the audio comes through the television. So. And everyone's like, well, why don't you just get a new headset? I'm like, no, I like annoying the whole house.
That is true. I get to say hello to the whole family, so it works out perfectly.
Has anyone got anything else to add? Because I got to have lunch.
I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say my piece. Real quick.
Say your piece. You're always welcome.
We kind of already knew what kind of season this was. We knew the breath of fresh air was great, but we've had this breath of fresh air before. Actually, twice. The rookie year of DJ, when he had those 25 touchdowns, And then when we went 7-1, those were the two times that we had life in this franchise. And after that, it just was downhill. Hence why I keep, just like you, Tim, I keep telling them, like, look, they're rookies. Let them breathe. Give them time to make their mistakes. They're gonna make their mistakes. But do they come back from it? If they know your tendencies, can you read the plays? But can you read the defense better? That's all we care about. Let's get past the rookie year of the awe and see what they do the second year. Because as we always know, it's always about them getting tape on you. Now what can you do? Now that they have tape on you, what can you do? That's what we see from good players. All right, you know what I'm going to do. Can you stop it? Now here comes that question. You know what I'm going to do. Can you stop me? And if you can't stop me, I'm progressing. If you can, I got work to do. But that was my piece.
Brother, I love it. Love it as always. Are you going to be around the next couple of days? Because I have some time, and I need a nice cup of liberty.
Hey, I'm off the next 2 days.
Oh, Mrs. Online Blue wants me to say to you, Don, hey.
All right, I'll get out of here. I'm at work. I'm gonna catch y'all later. It was great talking to y'all as always.
All right, man. I will talk to you in a little bit. You're gonna have to drop off because I can't get my mouse to work.
You can see me the whole time.
There you go, brother, man. There we go. I got my mouse to work now. My mouse finally worked. Brad, what's your final thought of the day?
Don't run in traffic.
Don't run in traffic with scissors.
Yeah, don't you scissors or not, just don't run in traffic. For me, just plugging away and see what we can do because I got nothing. I don't make the decisions. Whatever I suggest, they don't do. So I'm just gonna sit here and take it day by day. That's all I can do.
That was the.
I'm gonna run a petition to make sure that you keep this channel going.
Well, that's not going to work because the missus already said this is done. So, but like Brad so eloquently put it, you take it day by day. And I always go back to Rambo Part 2 when he's leaving and he says, "How are you going to live?" And Rambo said, "Day by day."
Yeah,
I think that should be the moniker of the Giant fan.
That has to be it because it ain't playoffs.
No,
it ain't none of that.
It's none of that. Well, T, I'm going to drop you off because I'm going to say goodbye to everyone because it is lunchtime.
All right.
And the kids are home. So I will talk to you later. Thanks for calling in. We miss you, brother.
All right, you too, man. Take care now.
All right, guys. It is we went 2 hours and 8 minutes.
That's what she said.
You can cut the head off the snake, which some people think is Shane Bowen, but you're not going to kill the snake. That's not killing the snake. It's one of those, what is a hydra? That if you cut off one head, another one grows. Because you're going to still have the same fundamental flaws with your team. Because if you look at it from an outside perspective, like I said, you're not really going to change your defensive philosophy mid-season. You're going to run different plays. You may blitz a little differently. You may have a little bit more exotic blitz packages, but you're going to have to bring someone in-house to run that defensive coordinator position. My biggest problem with that immediately is the people that you have in-house, in my mind, are also part of the problem. Andre Patterson, defensive line is outside of Burns looks like crap last 2 years. You're not bringing up Jeff Burris because of the way the corners are playing. Like I said, my only solution is you bring in Brian Cox. You get a little bit of a fiery guy, a no-nonsense guy, but you can't sit there and make fundamental changes 7 weeks into the season because then you're already throwing up the red flag again. Make sure you're hitting the like button, guys. You're not hitting the like button. You're not hitting the like button. I know there's only 60 people watching there and another 190 watching the other place, but hit the like button. But you just have to, there's just so many things wrong with his organization. There's so many things wrong with his team. And literally it starts from the top up. It doesn't just start. The defensive coordinator is the easiest scapegoat on this team. There is a fundamental talent issue that does not equal the philosophy of your offense and your defense There is a fundamental issue with your contract management, your cap space, your ability to evaluate, maintain, and enhance talent that you have, and maintaining and holding on to that talent. There is a complete fundamental flaw, and it starts from my perspective from Joe Schoen down. So thinking that you are going to cut the head off the snake by getting rid of Shane Bowen does not cure your problems, does not stop your problems. Mr. Taz says, what is Mr. Taz? You want to go drink? Yes, I am finishing now. Oh, yes. I am finishing now. So I'm going to go have lunch with the wife. Kids are home today because of in teacher service day or whatever. So yes, I'm finishing. I'm finishing now. So I'm going to go have lunch with the wife. I want to thank everyone who tuned in. I want to thank the mighty Fandel, of course. And to your point, no one looked at Abdul Carter and should have thought he was going to be produce hard sacks. He's a speed guy. Mr. Taz, you followed the channel. You know I've said this the day of the draft. I said it before. To me, the biggest mistake was taking either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter in the first 3 picks because they had bust written all over them. And I still think that. And you bring in a speed rusher with no strength that we've showed it before that he is going to be a guy that is going to get pushed around. And as the games go on, he is going to wear down. You need to make him a situational pass rusher. Said it before. Jerry Oslowski, the former 10-year offensive lineman for the Bills, who's been on the show a couple times, said it the same way. You run him 30% of the time. You make him a situational pass rusher. I've compared him to Bryce Huff. Put him in situations where he is fresh and he's a rotational player and he's rushing the passer. He is not an every down defensive end or linebacker. Speed kills when you run into a brick wall. That's all I'm going to say. I want to thank everyone that hung out for the last 2 hours and 12 minutes. I could go for 3.
That's what she said.
But I do have the kids home. I got some stuff I got to do. It is a beautiful day outside, except a little bit windy. I want to thank everyone for coming on. I want to thank Gennaro for coming on. I want to thank Key for coming on. I want to thank the Honeypot for coming on. He was going to pick a bone to pick with me, but he didn't have to. I want to thank T-Brad, Big Don, also, of course, the Venerable James Williams. I want to thank Carl Banks for giving me a shout out just about an hour ago, but I'm a little upset with him because of the fact that he mentioned that he was dropping a video for Believe while I'm on the air. So we're just going to say that. And as always, like, subscribe, ring the bell. We'll have a video out probably sometime in the middle of the week. We'll have the live stream. I don't know when again, but we will have a live stream again. Appreciate you all. Like, subscribe, get the channel, be happy. It's 1 win. It's 1 week. We have an opportunity for 1 win next week. Let's go from there. And as always, guys, you know it. I'm out of here.